Hello everyone, this is Abid. I'm the host and the teaching assistant for today's webinar on why cloud computing certification makes sense. If you are able to hear me, please go ahead and give me a hi hello on the chat window so that we can get started. All right, everyone, we have our trainer Bogdan who will be starting the session or conducting his presentation for the first 45 minutes. So I would like to keep you all posted. Everyone will be on mute. So a couple of ground rules of the session. You have any question, please go ahead and put the question in the chat window. However, I request you all to reserve your questions so that we will have the 15 minutes question and answer at the end of the session or at end of the hour. So basically we'll go for 45 minutes of the session without any interruption. The 15 minutes we will reserve for the question and answers. Our trainer will be willing to answer all your questions. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce you to our trainer Bogdan. So he's one of the authorized trainer for Google Cloud Platform. So he has conducted a lot of trainings in person or virtual. Like you see the slide, over 200 students wherein he has trained to develop the great products on Google Cloud Platform as well. He has more certificates than I can talk about. So overall 6+ years of experience in developing products on Google Cloud Platform. Uh, more than I can talk about those students. Okay, and about his roles or his positions. He has been a developer, a trainer, entrepreneur, and he also has startups in Romania, wherein he's been developing the apps on Google platform. So without any further ado, I'll go ahead and unmute our trainer. Hey Bogdan, you can go ahead. Your mic is open.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's session. Hope everyone can hear me fine.
Yes, Bogdan, I'm able to hear you. So let me ask the participants, are we able to hear our trainer? Is it loud and clear? Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
Bogdan.
So hello everyone and welcome to today's session. We are going to talk about why cloud computing certifications make sense. For one, I am a I have a certification in cloud computing and it has been great for me. So I'm going to talk about why this is good also for you and why you should all try to get a certificate. And here is not just about the money, it's why would you want to go on and learn about new stuff and get certified in something like cloud computing. Okay, so the agenda for today, we are going to talk about how the IT industry evolved over time. Why do IT companies use the cloud in the first place? So what were the problems that IT companies try to solve by using the cloud? What are the advantages of cloud versus on-premise infrastructure? And do companies actually look for cloud-ready people, or they just prefer getting them without any knowledge? Okay, so the IT industry has evolved a great lot. So in the early days, the first personal computer was a huge one and it was costing like a fortune. Since then, it got a lot smaller and a lot cheaper, so everyone started getting a computer, and at the moment, almost all people have a personal computer at home or at work. Um, in somewhere between 1990 and 2000, there was a boom in personal computers, and everyone was buying a personal computer for either their workplace or their home use. So it was a really big boom, and a lot of companies have evolved a great lot because of this. Some like Microsoft and Apple. They have IBM also. So they have developed a great deal of improvements on those computers so that we can take advantage of the compute power. Okay. After personal computer, laptops came because they were easier to carry around and they were more compact. You didn't have, so you could move around. So a lot of more people have adopted them, especially salespeople and different companies that needed moving around, not those that were pinned to a desk. Nowadays, we have a ton of internet-connected devices. So here are just a few things like smartphones, smartwatches, smart houses, smart cars or self-driving cars, Internet of Things. There are a lot of devices that are getting more and more connected to the internet and connected to each other. And this means there is a lot more technical power and a lot more processing power. This means also that we need a lot more software to run on these devices. Okay, so all devices that are connected to the internet actually connect to a server, either a web server or a backend for some application. And all the devices generate a lot of data. I don't mean here just sensors or things like that. People talk to each other. We have things like Facebook where you post your pictures and you get feedback, comments. So there is a lot of data generated and people and IT companies call the data as virtual money. So the more data you have, the more money you have. And losing data or losing is equivalent to losing money. For instance, there was a trend for a couple, for about 10 years, has started about 10 years ago. So 90% of the world's data was generated in the last 2 years, and it's a trend that is keep on going on. So this means each year a lot more data is developing, and we get a lot more data to be processed, and in terms, we need more software and better software, faster software, and more IT people to handle that increased data and data intake. We also need more servers to process the data and more specialized software that analyzes and makes minute by minute estimates on how to promote a certain product or how to act on that particular data. I'm not talking only about analytics and customer sales, but those are one of the most important at the moment, because if you know what to focus on, you can make a lot more money than if you don't know. So a lot more specialized software is needed, and a lot more things, so custom software is needed. And basically you need more IT people because you need more applications to run and collect data and generate reports so that companies can grow. So as digital dominates and the workforce require you to know computer skills. New skills are needed also for IT teams to compete. Here we are not just talking about how to install a mail or how to use a Word document. We are talking about how to process lots and lots of data, how to create an application, how to extend that application, how to configure a database, a virtual machine, or other things. Now there is a big trend in machine learning that actually takes a lot of data as intake, and you need specialized people just for that role. Technology also evolves very rapidly, and changes and challenges employees on how to and what to learn next. And I'm not just talking about new languages like Java and Python and Go and things like that, but I'm also talking about things like do I need to learn about the cloud? Do I need to learn about infrastructure or databases? What kind of databases? How to develop a product that is fault tolerant and can handle the demands of today, because now you can grow your business from 0 to 100 million users really quickly, and there are a lot of companies that do just that, for instance Snapchat and a lot more, Khan Academy, Simplilearn. There are a lot of companies that really developed in a short amount of time and have grown a user base really rapidly. So all these changes really challenges employees to think outside the box and to think on how can they grow and develop better products for their companies and innovate on those products in order for them to be more productive and handle more data and generate more money for the company and in terms for themselves. Because everyone knows if your company strives, you will also strive with it, and you can grow and get better remuneration and get different trips and different bonuses at the end of the year and things like that. So the more you help your company, the more it will be better for you and your company. So 1/3 of IT leaders keep skills current with emerging technology and trends because they know if they don't catch the wave of changes, they will be left behind. For instance, I was reading an article about Intel that focused only or mostly on laptop processors and not so much on mobile and low power devices. So they really got a little bit behind on this processor market. So they had to lay off a lot of IT people from their company because they couldn't be the best and they couldn't be there. Okay, so a lot of IT company that are leaders in the market now, they all strive to develop a new thing and use the latest technologies because on the one hand you can motivate an employee by giving him something new to work on and something new to learn and enabling him to make a difference, make the next app that really is really successful. So they are trying to be on the very edge and use the latest technologies because in turn they know that they are not just helping themselves, they are also helping their employees. Also, top performing companies are investing a lot in training and development, so they are training their employees to learn the new technologies and to be to be on the very edge and um, be able to have up-to-date stuff that will be able to produce better and better applications that uh, can really impact their user base and in terms of their remuneration and the growth of the company. They are also using technologies like cloud to fill kind of a gap that old old technologies didn't enable. So they really uh, turning to the cloud to help support increasing development demands and increasing user base demands. Also, to be able to get the applications to get global and not just local, because when you develop on a local scale and you do all the infrastructure on-premise in a specialized custom data center in your country, for instance, then most likely you will be missing out on a lot of users, and that's why IT companies try to migrate to the cloud, because cloud enables you to create application that spans the whole globe and be able to um, do something like a global application like Google search and other applications that are out there and a lot of people use. Um, Also, cloud services allow companies to offload data management, backend development, and even design. So their IT people can focus on innovation and create better apps that do a lot more than the company that is competing with them. And this way everyone grows, because if I do something really great and somebody else sees me and say, okay, I need to do even better than him, and then all the applications grow, and the users are feeling happy because they are getting they are getting applications that are better and better, and they respond to day-to-day demands. 80% of the people that are developing in the cloud say that they are working primarily on projects that will transform their businesses, and that they will basically be the next Apple or the next Google or the next Simplilearn, and uh, be the company that will manage to get global and attract a whole bunch of user base and a lot of investment and basically a lot of money. Also, developing in the cloud requires less people to manage infrastructure than doing this on premise. I was talking to somebody that was actually doing things on premise, and he was the manager for the mini data center that he was operating, and he told me that he had 100 people just to manage infrastructure, so just for changing hard drives, changing RAM, adding new computers, repairing the ventilation system, doing things like uh, AC interruptions or um, thunderstorm repairs, copying files from one hard drive to another when the first one broke and things like that. So they were wasting 100 people manpower on just doing maintenance on a piece of hardware that you don't have to do when you are moving to the cloud. So cloud really helps you develop better apps because you have more time to focus on the apps and less to focus on the actual infrastructure that is behind those apps. So do IT company use the cloud? Well, this is a chart for Europe. So how many companies in Europe are using the cloud in uh, in 2014? So this is a chart from 2014, and some of them have even over, some countries even have over 50% of the companies using cloud at the moment. So this is a growing trend. So since then, all these numbers have grown, but cloud is still something that is developing. So it's not full there. As you can see, the average is 19% for Europe. This means that there is still a lot of place for improvement and a lot of place for companies to grow. But for this, they need people that are skilled and IT people that know what they are doing and how to do apps in the cloud in the modern way using new technologies uh, like using some big analytics things or knowing machine learning or using a database that can span to a billion users and things like that. So uh, for these companies to actually grow and develop and get more and more involved in cloud, you need first IT people that actually know cloud and how to use it, how to develop great apps, and then they will adopt because we will see, we have a special slide for this. It's a lot cheaper and a lot error prone, and it's a lot better to do it this way than in the old-fashioned way. Okay, so there are actually two kinds of cloud at the moment. One is called a public cloud and one is called private cloud. The actual difference between public and private clouds is a big difference, and some companies prefer private cloud, some companies prefer public cloud, but definitely both types of companies start preferring cloud than doing it on premise. The public cloud is basically when you have you just say, okay, I need to rent 5 virtual machines. I don't care how you give them to me. I just need them and I will pay them out an hourly rate and say, okay, I just need, I don't know, 1,000 virtual machines for 5 hours now, and tonight I'm not going to need them. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to need them, and next month, and that's it. And the great thing about this is it's a great money saver, because since you are renting infrastructure and not actually buying it, you can rent a lot more infrastructure to be able to serve your needs, and only rent it when you actually need it, and maybe not in the night hours or in the weekend when you are not working. So you don't have to buy expensive computers and expensive network infrastructure and a lot of hard drives and all those things that are actually needed in order for you to run. You just rent it by the hour exactly when you need it and for how much time you need it. The private cloud is a little bit different because you still buy your own hardware and you just ship it to somebody and they will take care of managing um, um, so uh, uh, you don't have to manage the infrastructure yourself. You just ship it to somebody and they will manage the infrastructure, the network management, the cable system, the ventilation, the power that those computers need and things like that. But it's still your own hardware. And from what I know, most big companies opt for this kind of cloud. Um, so these are the two types of cloud that are now. The next type of cloud that a few big companies like Google have that are thriving for is the ones that you don't even have to um, worry about infrastructure. You just worry about your application and you just say, I give you this application, run it for me. I don't know, I don't care how. I just want you to run this application on a global scale. Okay, so these are the top industries that cloud has gotten into. So information and communication is one of the highest with a 45%. Professional, scientific, and technical activities is second after with 27%. Also, real estate, administrative, and support services, electric, gas, stream and air conditioning, water, and accommodation also have a great number. At the end of the chart are things like construction that still use cloud for different activities, but still rely on things like on-premise for a great part of their activity. Okay, so what are the advantages of cloud versus on-premise? So in the old days, there was a standalone software where you had to write a piece of software and burn it to a CD and ship it to your customer. The customer took that CD and installed it in his personal computer. But updates were really hard to do because you couldn't actually update it because you weren't connected to internet, or the application couldn't connect to the internet, or there was no way for you to update that piece of software. So every 6 months or every 1 year, uh, that company was shipping another CD with the updated version of the same software, where he introduced new bugs but fixed some of the old bugs. And it was really slow because it took you like 6 months or a year or more to get a new version of the same app into your user's hands. So innovation was really slow. You couldn't do much of things like A/B testing, where you can test a new feature on a subset of users. You just had to make sure your application was as pristine as possible, and you just ship it and hope for the best. After that, client-server software started to show, where you had still a CD that was shipped and installed onto your computer, but that application was talking to a backend server somewhere on your premise, and you were able to do something like shared application where multiple users can use the same application and they can share the same data, and you didn't have to use flash drives or CDs to move data around the office between your users. It was a step forward because you could have multiple users using the same software, the same database, and all populating the same information, but it was still slow because you still had to do updates on that server, and they were slow, and you had to buy a lot of infrastructure for that. After that, they moved the server to somewhere that was publicly accessible, like uh, someone that was providing some sort of backend service that could host your application. So the era of web server software started to merge, and you could say, okay, I need somewhere general that can be accessed for the same software as before, but location wasn't really important anymore because you could be somewhere else and still access the data through internet. Since more and more devices came along, those kind of applications didn't stand a chance, because the more users you have, the more strain your application server will be. And at one point, when you can't handle those traffic, your application server will just die. So people started going to cloud and software as a service, so they can uh, manage bigger and faster infrastructure that could handle more and more workloads, also that could empower you to go at a global scale, because clouds can be global, and it is supposed to be global. So the user from Europe don't have to go all the way to America to get a piece of software and add 300 milliseconds to each request, um, and basically get a lower um, a lower performing application. Okay, so what do you have to do in order for you to do something on premise? So on premise, when you had to get something like a server and a router and a LAN switch and a SAN switch, uh, different types of storages. For archiving, you also had to buy tape storage because it's cheaper. Also, you had to get a UPS because you needed power, and in case the UPS ran out of juice, you need a power generator because you have to think about the worst. So you have to think about something like the internet failing, so you needed to buy 2 internet connections. You need to think about the power failing, so you need to get a power generator. A power generator usually makes a lot of noise, so if you have developers in the same room as all those servers and switches and power generators, they will go home as zombies because they will hear a lot of background noise all the time. So this was just to be able to do in one location, but as any big company knows you cannot rely on just one location, so you have to have multiple locations. So multiply all of those equipments by 2 or 3 or even 4 or 5. So if the whole infrastructure for just hosting one application costed you something like $50,000 or even more, somewhere about 100 to $500,000 for one location, when you multiply that by more locations, you ended up spending millions and millions of dollars on just being able to serve a number of users. And this didn't scale because every time your users scaled, you had to scale your infrastructure. This means more hardware, more cost, and more people to manage all of that. Um, so what are the advantages of cloud versus premise? So one is separation of responsibilities. So when you're doing this on-premise, the responsibility is all on you. So you have to take care of networking, storages, servers, virtualization, operating system, middleware, runtime, data, applications, libraries, and everything in between. So there was a lot of things that IT people had to do in order for your application to run and be productive. In the world of infrastructure as a service, where you rent virtual machines, all the networking, storages, servers, and virtualization are taken care of for you by the cloud provider. You don't have to do that yourself, so a lot less IT people required in your company. But you still have to take care of your OS, middleware, runtime, data, and application. When you're looking at platform as a service, you don't even have to worry about the OS, middleware, and runtime because the cloud provider does it for you. So you only have to focus on the data and the application that you are building. So here on the platform as a service, you can really innovate because it enables you to only focus on the application and the data that you can collect from your users and from your applications. For instance, I myself, I am a developer and I opted for a platform as a service whenever I can, and I develop a lot of apps in my days. I'm still developing apps each day, and uh, the platform as a service really enabled me to be able to do a lot of things that I didn't think were possible, because every day I come to work and I start doing a new feature, a new button that does something great for my users that will bring me more money for the company I work for, and uh, more users, and a greater satisfaction because what I did today was used and helped users. So I go to work and do this new feature that I was building and just deploy it to the platform I'm using, and I don't have to worry about configurations and the OS and security patches that needed to be applied to some weird library that I didn't even know about, that the OS was using, also about the runtime, the middleware, and all those things. So really, it enables me to be able to deploy new versions a few times a day, sometimes or sometimes once a day, sometimes once a week, depending on the feature I'm developing. but each and every day I go to work and focus on the application and developing new and great features into those applications rather than focusing on doing maintenance and doing security updates on different uh, applications that I actually don't even need to care about. So all of this ends up when into a software as a service, where you don't. This is what you usually build. So you build some piece of software that you give your users to be able to use and to develop it, and your users don't need to know anything about that application except how it works and what new great features it has. Okay, so they don't need to care. They don't need to care about any of how it was made, what was the language it was made, how it scales, how it does data disastery, how it's storing the data. The user doesn't need to know all of that. He just needs to know how to use the application and to work with the application. So, do companies actually look for IT-ready people? Well, there is a lot of demand for IT people, especially people that know cloud and know how to work with a lot of data and to build great applications and that are up to date with the latest technologies, with the latest software, the latest trends in technology, and really they are looking for people that uh, thrive themselves on learning new things each day and improving their applications and developing great new features for the application they are working on. So technologies change and IT people need to be there to learn about those and need to be up to date on what changes and how this new feature that the cloud provider uh, done can help the application you are building, and what great services you can use in order for you to be more productive and develop better and better apps. So how do you prove to your companies that you actually know those technologies? Well, the easiest and best way to do that is by providing a certification. So this way you say you leave the problem of is that IT guy actually knows what he's talking about, or he just read an article somewhere and he's good at people skills and can work around different difficult questions. So certifications are something that cloud companies started adopting, and they are a great way for you to say, okay, I really and actually know this technology. And a lot of companies nowadays only look at certifications when they hire new people, because it's easier for them to say, okay, this is an IT guy that actually knows what he's talking about, or he's somebody that just heard about that technology and he just says, I know that technology. Nowadays, it's hard for you to prove that you actually know something. The easiest way is to just show a diploma or a certification and say, I know what I'm doing and you have to trust me because I was certified by a specialized company into this technology, and you have to trust me because I know better than you that this is the way of doing things now. Okay, so this was my presentation. Hope you enjoyed it, and we are now opening the Q&A section. So I see that we have a few questions in the question room. So let's go on with the first question. For someone waiting to learn cloud, why should they choose to learn Google Cloud over AWS Azure? So for career development. So um, for one, I'm somebody that started with Google a lot of years ago. So I started with them about 6 years ago when no one knew that Google was actually a cloud provider. Um, their marketing skills on the cloud thing were lacking a lot. So they didn't know how to promote the great things that they were building. Um, I am actually really happy with my choice. So I for one chose Google Cloud over AWS and Azure, and I'm really happy with my choice because they are focusing a lot on the cloud, and recently they really invested a huge amounts of money in both developing infrastructure for the applications that I am building and other developers are building, but also for providing more and more tools and APIs that we can use as developers and be able to create better and better applications that scale more and more easily at a better price. So they are doing a lot of innovation in both infrastructure and software, and they have shown it in the past years, about 15 to 20 years since they started. So um, they are developing the infrastructure for themselves, and they are letting us, the developers, use that infrastructure in order to build applications. So I'm really happy with how Google Cloud is developing and how Google, how or the vision of Google is because their main focus is on innovation and bringing better and better software to the table, so IT guys like me can really thrive. So let's go on to the next question. So what are all Google Cloud certification can one do with no coding skills? So at the moment, with no coding skills, they have certifications for G Suite, or the old, like it was called, Google Apps for Work. So those are without coding skills. Um, Coding is somehow a weird term because, for instance, a business intelligence guy can also do his work using Google Cloud, and he is required to have some kind of skills to be able to write something like a SQL query to get to process the data he is uh, looking at. So yes, they for some things you require some coding skills, for some things you require less coding skills, and for some things are just coding, so just for developers or sysadmins or the big data specialist or the machine learning specialist. But there are certifications that you can take and really help your company without knowing how coding in the real term is. Because actually in the old days when you are doing Excels and Words, they were considered something like a coding skills or a technical skills. Now everyone is supposed to know Excel and Word and be able to do something like charts and filtering and sorting and things like that. So depending on the wording of coding, there are certifications that you can do without coding. How can experienced IT leaders, senior leaders benefit from learning Google Cloud? Well, if you are the IT specialist in your company and you want to move your company to a new level, Google Cloud offers a lot of things, including migration from on-premise to cloud, how best practices on how to build applications, how to handle millions of users, how to handle increasing amounts of data, how to process different things fast so that your company can actually use the information that it's generating. Um, so as an IT specialist or leader in your company, the best thing to do is push your users to not your users, so your teammates to learn a new way of doing software and a new way of um, running into the cloud or in a good and in a better way than you could do it in the past. So next question is what are the best certifications for the cloud? So at the moment there are a few certifications that you can do for the cloud. You can, depending on the IT guy you are speaking to, there is a certification for system operations where you have to manage virtual machines, persistent disks, networks, firewall rules, operating systems, uh, web servers or different things that you installed on those servers, containers that are a new thing on the market now. On the other hand, if you are a developer, you can learn how to use something that I, for one, prefer, that is a platform as a service, where you just learn how to use the database, the underlying platform that you are using, and really develop greater and greater apps that are using different APIs and interconnect with different tools and uh, basically giving you the edge when developing an app. There is also a lot of focus now on big data and machine learning. Sometimes you hear them in the same sentence, something like big data and machine learning. Sometimes you hear them separately because you can analyze data without machine learning, but you can't do machine learning without a lot of data. So those are the new things on the market now because, like I said earlier, 90% of the data was generated in the last 2 years. So if this is an ongoing trend, in about 5 to 10 years we will have a lot more uh, uh, data, so you actually need specialized software to make predictions and do things like analysis on that increasing data. So let's go on with the next question. Is Google Cloud connected to the Android operating system such that it can be turned on and off and operate transparently without programming its features independently, similar to the Apple Cloud? So the Google Cloud is not just for Android. Actually, you can do a lot of apps and a lot of things on Google Cloud that are not related to Android or iOS or web applications. So I was reading about a company that was doing um, transcoding for Hollywood films, for Hollywood movies, on virtual machines in Google Cloud, and they were using like 10,000 virtual machines for a short amount of times to process big scenes with a lot of special effects and a lot of blowing up and shooting and a lot of falling and things like that. So actually you can use Google Cloud for things other than Android, and yes, you can use Google Cloud and turn it on and off whenever you want. Like I said before, this company was using something like 10,000 virtual machines for 30 minutes every time that designer needed it to. So every time I, as a designer, was modifying something to a scene, I just ran a script that was bringing up 10,000 virtual machines, did the rendering, gave me the final picture, and I said, oh, okay, oops, I forgot some little thing there. And this was for all their designers, and each of their designers was able to bring that much infrastructure on and off whenever he needed it. So yes, you can turn on and off anything in Google Cloud depending on your business and how you are doing things. So the next question is how security fits into cloud. Can you recommend any best certifications for it? So depending on exactly what you are using, some things apply from old on-premise things, some things are new, some things are handled by the cloud company. So depending on which security thing you are referring to, you either have and need to learn of how to update and apply security patches to your operating system, how to create scripts that scan for security flows automatically your applications, or how to create security uh, so to create an application that passes a lot of security features. For instance, Google Cloud has an actual app that will scan your application for security flows. So they have coded a lot of security holes that usual web application have, and they just run it each time you deploy a new version of that app. And from what I know, this is the best way of achieving the best security is by creating automatic scripts that check for security holes in your application, no matter what, if they are installed as a virtual on a virtual machine inside a container and or a web app or something else. So the best way of addressing security in the cloud, from my opinion, is to create automatic scripts that that you can check again and again each time you change the application, and not just each time you deploy a new version of the application you start to check, okay, let's see if you can do that, or let's see if you can do that, and things like that. So in terms of certifications for security, uh, from what I know, Google doesn't offer any certifications for it. So there are no Google certifications for security from what I know. I might be wrong, but a lot of companies are focusing just on security and on cloud security and on things like that, so you can learn from those. Um, Next question, any prerequisites for ongoing certificates? So Depending on the certificate you are talking about, some of them require you to be a sysadmin or a sysops or a big data specialist or big business intelligence guy or someone that does architecture for applications or a developer or things like that. So the certifications usually require you to be one of those guys and have some experience using those particular technologies. My recommendation is to have somewhere between 6 months and 1 year of experience using those technologies before trying to get a certificate, because uh, certifications are not easy to obtain because they actually count a lot when you hire somebody. So usually the requirements for certifications are a minimum of 6 to 1 year of experience plus you doing a lot of learning about those technologies, not just how much you need it um, for work or things like that. So the last question I have here is, does Google Cloud reside on mainframe computer? So Google Cloud is actually uh, using a lot of data centers. So Google has developed a lot of its infrastructure for its personal use to be able to host Gmail and Google Search and YouTube and Google Drive and applications that he provided for the users. And he just opened up that infrastructure to all of us as developers to be able to create apps and do things like that. In terms of what Google Cloud actually lives on, there are data centers that have a lot of really specialized infrastructure. So specialized CPUs, RAM, hard drives, tapes, and things like that. Uh, and they are using a lot of virtualization to be able to do, for one, security, because I, as a user of a cloud, I am not allowed to be able to access somebody else's data. So Google does a lot of things in terms of security that should be done when doing public clouds, but mostly they have really fast, really big data centers that are really optimized for performance, reliability, and cost, and they are doing this so that you can provide great apps for your users and have something reliable to use. Okay, so I think that was the last question. Um, if you have any more questions, please post them in the chat room. If not, I will give it up to Abid. And I would like to thank you all for attending this session and asking questions. So I would like to thank you all, and Abid, if you have any things to add, please go ahead. Okay, so I think Abid doesn't have any more things to add. I would like to thank you all and hope you enjoyed the session and the presentation. Hope you learned a lot and I managed to convince you to go for getting certified in cloud, because especially in Google Cloud, because this is a great way of developing skills, and it's a thing for the future. So you will be up to date on all those companies that haven't actually moved to the cloud, but that will do it soon. Like I said, thank you all and have a great evening.